Welcome to Punch Your Agents, the podcast where we throw punches at the real estate status quo. We're your hosts, Mike Shipman here.
And Daniel Nolan.
Join us as we dive into the world of real estate, sharing stories, insights, and expert advice on all things related to real estate.
So sit back, grab a drink, and get ready to punch your agents. All right, welcome. Today we have my good friend, Mr. Ellis Young on. Ellis, how you doing today, man?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for coming in, dude.
Nice having you here, man.
You don't have to worry about what you say because no one's listening to this yet. No one's probably going to listen to it. So just say whatever the hell you want to.
Well, you know, I've been guilty of saying some things that I probably shouldn't. So we're good there. I don't care. I'm not going to stop now at this point.
Yeah. So what's funny is Mike joined on my team probably like 6 months ago. Like I never started a team, you know, kind of like you. Like me and Ellis started at the same time. Basically, we both started at Intero real estate in like kind of River Oaks area, so it's pretty bougie.
Right.
And everyone in there, you know, Ellis and I are both from Pasadena. You know, you have some Pasadena roots yourself. But when we started off there, you know, like me and Ellis knew each other from high school. We knew a couple other people there from high school, so it was good. It was fun. And I guess where was I going to go with that? So out of it. I don't know. I'm totally out of it right now. Anyways, I'll be doing some editing in a second.
It was very bougie.
Yeah, it was very bougie.
Right.
And then but I was very much like you. Like I never really started a team. I didn't want to be on a team. I didn't want to do any of that type of stuff versus just like, I'm just going to go out. I want to be honest with people, tell people what's really going on. I'm not trying to screw anyone over. And I'm not having anyone screw me over, you know, and like learning it there was a good spot. But, you know, it got to a certain point where like I was tired of paying the certain amount of money that I was paying out. And, you know, I did basically my couple years there. How long did you stay there?
3?
3? Yes. I think I was there 2 to 3, about the same.
Like
yeah.
3.
Same brokerage? Or?
Yeah. We both started out in Intero. It was, and then, Warren Buffett. Yeah, Warren Buffett bought it out. I'm thinking Jimmy Buffett. But no, yeah. So Warren Buffett bought it out. And that was, we're like 13 years now.
Fuck, don't get me lying. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, no. Well, I started in 14.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, we've been doing it for a little while.
Yeah.
So Ellis, you like to get into some trouble without even really trying to.
I wouldn't say I'm not trying at all, but
it works for you pretty well.
It comes organically. I'll just say that.
Which is pretty crazy because, you know, you're really a laid back guy until someone kind of pisses you off. And then that's the other side that comes out. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I believe it or not, I know a lot of people don't believe this, but I try to be friendly with everybody. It just doesn't get reciprocated, and I have a very low tolerance for it.
Yeah. So Mike, I'd called him up a while back, 6 months ago, and then I joined up. I was like, hey man, I need to start a team anyways. That's the reason why we switched to like Inc. Realty. And so I know Mike forever. He's super honest, all that good stuff. And I was like, okay, man, let's get on this team. So then he calls me one day and you were like, what'd you say?
Well, no, you called me.
No, but when you about Ellis.
Oh, yeah. So, yes. So this is a story I was telling you about earlier. So I forgot where I was. And I've seen your truck because I started out at Keller Williams. So I've seen your truck there. I'm like, I remember seeing your truck. And okay, for the people that are listening, this gentleman here has a truck with him laying down on it like one of those French models. And it's really cool. I mean,
like Burt Reynolds.
Yes. It's hard to not remember this, man. I was like, man. And I was here in Pearland and I saw your truck. And I never saw the stickers on the back, and it said, your mom's favorite realtor, dude. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that is so awesome, dude. And yeah, I saw that, and it says something else on it, man. And I remember taking a picture of it, your truck. It was you had some lady with you. And I was like, I hope they don't see me snapping a picture of this truck. And I sent it to my wife, and I sent it to Daniel. I'm like, man, check this out. And Daniel's like, oh, that's my buddy. I'm like, dude,
I know that asshole.
But that stuck in my head. And to me, that was like perfect marketing, man. Your mom's favorite agent, dude. I mean, that or favorite
Well,
realtor.
do you want to know where that actually came from?
Yeah.
It's decent story. So there's a local agent that in Pearland that hates my guts. Whatever.
Which one?
I'm not saying. No, I'm not going.
No, I know. I'm saying there's probably more than one.
Yeah. Well, no. Oh, I thought you wanted names,
Oh,
but
no,
yes,
that's
you
cool.
are 100% correct.
Yeah.
But anyways, they were, and they have a team, and I was talking to one of their team members who I'm friends with, and they said, what's funny about this whole thing is that her mom thinks your shit is hilarious, and
Where you came.
that is a troll to that specific agent, believe it or not, that actually worked for everybody, because everybody's like, oh yeah, he's my mom's favorite agent, when in actuality it is to be seen around town by certain
Someone
agent
specific.
and their cronies.
Nice.
So that's actually where that came from.
Nice. I was, I've always played in bands forever. And I played a show in Galveston a few years ago when I was still in my old band. And my friend's girlfriend, she's an agent here in Pearland. And she's sitting there and she's talking, and she starts going into, she's like, oh, you're an agent in Pearland too? Yeah. And we start talking. And then she's like, oh my God, there's one agent that I just do not like at all. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, this guy, and she didn't say your name at the time. And she was just like, this guy left a bag of pennies on someone's doorstep because I don't know what the reason was, like what happened with all that, or.
Well, so obviously that was me who left these bag of pennies. It wasn't a bag, actually. They were boxed and rolled.
Yeah, they're rolled.
I was respectful about it at least. But no, what happened so we had closed on this house a month earlier, okay? Mm-hmm. And the people had to move out because, he had health problems, like serious health problems that he was going through. And I told them that we cannot find the key to the mailbox. Okay, great. A month goes by, they start harassing us about the key to the mailbox. And I told them, I will give you the money, but I can't go down to the post office or wherever they get their key from and ask them to make a key for somebody who does not own the house. That, like, they're not going to do it. So I told them I'd pay them. No, you need to go buy it. I'm like, mind you, again, this is a month after closing.
Yeah.
And I told them, guys, it's $39. Leave my people alone. I will give you the money. I will pay for it. And they kept being dicks about it. I was like, well, okay. I'm just going to come and give you $39 worth of pennies. Yeah. And you know what happened? Nobody contacted my people or me ever again. Because I think they realized that A, I wasn't going to do it. B, they finally had some common fucking sense and realized that I'm not allowed to go make a key for a mailbox for a house that's not mine. It's like I was beating my head into a wall. And at the end of the day, my clients loved it. They're like, thank you for having our back. Thank you. They want, I think a lot of clients want to know that, as agents, we need to stay emotionally pretty chill.
Yes.
But then there's a time when sometimes, you know what, you need to tell the other people to back the fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, and you try not to get to that point, but I mean, it happens. Other agents can't communicate with their buyer or their clients well enough on expectations, and then they hang you out to dry on this stuff. Sometimes you just gotta, be a little bit of a dick every now and then. And, as long as your clients are happy, that's all that ultimately matters.
Yep.
And what was funny is when she was like telling me this, and I just started laughing. She's like, why are you laughing? You know who that is? I was like, I was at his wedding.
Yeah, right, right.
Like, I've known him forever.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was at his wedding. Yeah, I talked to him a decent amount. Like, he's one of my buddies. And, Ellis is a good person because anytime I run into something and I have a question or vice versa, I'm able to shoot something off to him, and like, yeah, man, your house is overpriced or whatever. Like, I'll get an honest answer from him. And like a lot of agents, man, like you probably think like I do. Like, I think most agents aren't very good. Like, I'm not a big fan.
I think they just tell people what they want to hear to get hired.
I 100%.
And
agree.
I can understand that. I 100% can understand that instinct. But at the end of the day, it's, long-term wise, I think by being straight with them and saying, hey, look, man, your house is not worth $400.
Yeah.
We'll try, but, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I can get you the moon just to get my name on the listing agreement.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't want that heat, and I don't want that kind of pressure.
No, I don't want to have my sign in someone's yard forever to try to attract buyers. Me personally, I'd rather price the house properly, get it in contract, and then sell the next door neighbor's house or the other house down the street.
Sure.
You know, because that attracts more, and it's, you know, it's better business. You know, you're doing what's right for somebody.
Right.
Because I've lost plenty of listings because someone says they can give you this much. And then, like, I've also had that person get fired and they come back to me. And then, like, boom, I sell the house for what I told them it was. And then it was an easy sale because the expectations were set realistically.
Correct. Realistic expectations. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Ellis, you one time got in trouble for Ellis is known
Is
for.
this all about
No,
got
just
in trouble?
giving
No, because I'm digging it. I like it.
No, I just you
is the
have
fun
funnier stories than most agents are gonna have to a certain extent.
Yeah, you're pretty much a legend.
Yeah, you've got your reputation built up.
This is being recorded, right?
Yes.
Okay, I can't wait to send this to my wife. She's somehow, for some reason, I can guarantee you, she's like feeling nauseous right now across town because somehow that registered.
Ellis has always put up, well, at least since I can remember, he's always put up these not haunted signs. And like, so it would always be like, you know, Ellis always has his funny real estate sign where he's, you know, what's your attractiveness in the 9th most attractive real estate
That's right.
team in Pearland?
Yep.
We're way below you on 9th, so don't worry. We're not coming for that title. But Ellis got in trouble one time. Just go ahead and tell. You know the story I'm talking about?
Yeah. So, and this is what kind of shotgunned everything, really.
Yeah.
So we were having trouble getting this house sold in Pearland, and what's funny is the people that own the house, they're Cajun. They're from Louisiana, and apparently haunted houses are an actual thing there.
Yes.
Like, it's an actual disclosure. Is there paranormal activity? Right. You know? And I said, well, hell, maybe we need to put a not haunted sign up. And so everybody knows we're good to go. And they buried a St. Joseph statue. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And never in my mind I never crossed my mind that this would become a thing. So we put it up, and all of a sudden I'm getting calls from, I got two calls from people saying, is it really not haunted? Because that sign looks stupid and this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Next thing I know, it's on one of those Talk of Pearland sites.
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody tagged me, you know, how you type in this is Ellis Young. Anyway, so I started looking at it. So you get every notification, and all of a sudden it's like bing, 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 bing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And people haven't things to say about it.
Right.
And you got the Karens on there talking about, no, this is a nice neighborhood and you're trashing it up, blah, blah, blah. Well, again, didn't think nothing of it. Next thing I know, ABC's calling me, or not ABC, Channel 13 is calling me, Nick Notario. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You want to interview me over this? I said, to be honest with you, I decided I'm taking the sign down, but I'm replacing it. And he goes, well, what are you replacing it with? I said, well, gluten-free home. And he started laughing. He's like, dude, can you wait to put that up until I'm there to video it and you can put it up? I'm like, yeah. I said, he said, well, what made you come up with that? I said, because everything that's trying to be sold right now is gluten-free. I'm like, hell, I don't even know what gluten is. I just know that everybody puts it on a box and that helps it sell. So I thought that would be a little less controversial. Boy, if I didn't put that sign out and get interviewed, that I didn't get a call in 10 minutes from a woman cussing me out, saying I was being insensitive to people with gluten allergies, and that she had a kid that's got gluten allergies and she has to keep an EpiPen, and that's nothing to joke about. And that's when I told her, I said, ma'am, I don't even know what gluten is. And that even pissed her off even more. And I was like, okay. So I started thinking about it. So that's when I went and got another sign that said, Chuck Norris tested, or Harvey tested.
It was Harvey tested. Right after Hurricane Harvey hit our area.
Harvey tested. But the people in the neighborhood, somebody in the neighborhood went and ripped the sign down, made their own sign on a piece of sheet metal with glitter. It says wonderful neighbors. So you're putting that up basically saying we're shitty neighbors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, so Channel 13 interviewed me. And it went fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like I was getting calls from like 12 different states, like from different news outlets. Inman interviewed me. I don't know. One of the other, the Chronicle interviewed me. All this stuff, and I'm like, hey, I'm digging it, man. So I'm like, hey, this is great.
Free
like
advertising, man.
Right.
And they asked me, are you gonna stop doing it because of complaints? I'm like, no, now I got to go bigger. I was like, you open Pandora's box with me. I've got all kinds of idea because I used to tell my sign guy my first idea, which I would never do this, but my first idea was like, give a free gift card to a Oriental bathhouse or Oriental massage parlor or something crazy like that, which we all know what kind of can go on there. He's like, Ellis, you can't do that. I'm like, well, I know I can't do that, but it sounds funny. It sounds great. But that's where my head started going. I was like, oh, I can think of a lot of things that kind of test the line of appropriateness and non-appropriateness or inappropriateness.
Right.
So that's kind of how that went. And like I said, it did, the whole thing went, I don't know, viral, whatever you want to call it.
It went
It
viral
was crazy. I
because
couldn't believe it.
I had a listing that was in Katy, and it was a newer home. It's like a huge ass house, like 4,000 square feet, but they were still building in that same neighborhood. So the house was only 2 years old. Family had gotten divorced, so they needed to dump the house. And the house had been sitting. It was one of the things, especially when stuff was selling. Oh, I get a call, and this guy's like a cop. He has a famous singer's name. We'll just say whoever. It doesn't matter. Just
Wayne Newton.
Perfect.
Okay.
So Wayne Newton calls me up, and he is like, hey, dude, we need to come up with some better advertising than we have. And I was like, okay, well, what do you think? And he's like, well, you seen this Ellis Young guy? He's saying free VCR with backyard or something. And I'm like, and it was right after all that stuff. And I call Ellis, and I was just like, dude, I'm so mad at you right now. And you're like, you're mad at me for what? And I was like, my client wants me to copy you. And you're like, hey man, I got some good ideas. He starts giving me like sign ideas.
Yeah, it's free VCR with purchase, and then one was backyard included with the sale of the house. Just stupid stuff,
Man. But that's smart, like they get you noticed, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely it really did. It did move the needle for me. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, there was really no but, because I really don't care. But I definitely gotten my fair share of nasty emails and stuff like that from people, around town. There's agents around town that tell people that I'm giving the real estate profession a bad name. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, at that time, I'd only been in the business like 5 years. I'm like, how do you blame a new guy for giving real estate agents a bad name? If anything, it's you people that have been doing it for 30 years that have been doing it shitty. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if people hate realtors, it's not because of the new guy who's been here for 5 years. You know what I mean? So I was like, maybe it's because you guys set some really bad, expectations and set some really bad standards as to what is expected of somebody who's selling somebody's, home.
Well, also, man, if everyone copied everybody, which was happening traditionally in this, market or, in real estate forever, like every agent was like, I'm gorgeous inside. Like, I hate all those dumb signs. Like
nobody cares.
Like, what? I've never seen one that says, I'm a shithole inside. Like, then I'd be like, well, let's go check this out. It's a good investment home,
Well, I did do one. But it wasn't. It didn't say it was ugly. It just says this home identifies as. What did it say? It identifies as below market value, because he knew we weren't. I knew we weren't below market value, but we identified as below market value.
Nice. Dude,
But no. So
No, I mean,
but so identifies. That's a trigger. That's a word that comes up in a lot of searches right now. Transitioning comes in a lot of searches right now. It doesn't matter how you're using the word. It is something that trends online. So transitioning homes to sold. That's on my truck now. Transitioning homes to sold since 2014. So obviously when somebody puts that in, it's not going to come right up, but it hits more search engines. It hits more search hits.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know how to.
No, but
that.
yeah, I mean, the whole thing is your job is what? To get the house sold for your client at the most amount of money and get the most eyes on it is how you do that.
Yeah.
So if you advertised like, Jane next door and just said, I'm gorgeous inside, stop the car. Oh, I hate that one.
Yeah.
What am I going to stop the car for? I can't go in anyways.
Yeah.
Stop the car. This isn't 1985. I'm going to get online. I'm going to look the house up. I can't stand those basic, like mine is, it's just like, and I'm superstitious when I have something even that's going to be sold. I don't put up a sold sign till if the person, I only have like pending, and I'll have a few sold signs.
Yeah.
This way, I've had deals fall apart at
The closing table.
I have had a deal fall apart. What was it? It was the person we signed and we were waiting for funding. It was a cash deal from a trust fund, and someone was stealing from that client, and then everything got locked down. So, I mean, I know that it's not going to close sometimes. I had the buyers, and it was during COVID time, and the seller died a week before closing, and I had the sellers, which were my family, had their house in contract getting ready to close, and we had to figure out how to get them in. Like, there's crazy stuff that happens, man. Like, that death thing will really screw something up. So I don't ever count on money unless it's in my account.
Correct.
Right? I don't ever count on it, man. And I will not put up a sold sign unless like the people are renting it back for a few weeks, and then they're like cool with me keeping my sign in the yard, and I'll put sold, and I can try to advertise, if they're cool with it. But man, besides that, I'm not just putting up a sold sign.
Me neither.
And dude, just by me sitting here, so I've had my license. November's been a year.
Okay.
I've sold 2 houses.
Okay.
The houses I've sold, I've gotten from my buddy, the lawyer. And so I've only listed houses. I've never represented a buyer yet. But this, having this, the amount of, expertise between y'all two and hearing all this, it's really good. Any new realtor listening, these guys been doing it for 13, 12 plus years. And this type of stuff is really good for a new upcoming realtor, because when I got my license, when you go to school, they really don't tell you how it is when you start doing the business. And I started out at Keller Williams, and
didn't you bash them in another podcast?
Right. And just so you know, and so I sold my first house. I was excited, and they took, it was like half my money. I was like, dude, this sucks, man. Man. And it was. And I understand, because, you're going there learning. It's a school as well, which is, it's really good. But in my case, I got my license. I came into the business with business waiting for me already. Yeah. I didn't have time to wait. Oh, we have a class on that Wednesday. Yeah. No, I got to learn to do this yesterday. Right, I got to get this house listed yesterday, and, for, any new realtor listening, it's when you have guys sitting on my left and right, and you hear these stories and stuff, this is great information, good experience to learn from. And I really appreciate this. I really do.
Well, you want to hear something that'll really piss off your listeners?
What's that?
So I was in a advisory board position, but they asked me because I had some tenure at CB&A, and I went to one meeting. And we were in there, and they were talking about how to get people to training classes and this, that, and the other. Now, mind you, I've never gone to a single one. Zero training classes. Mainly because I was in corporate for so long, and they're like, "You got to do it this way." Da, 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 da. And I'm an outside the box thinker, and I don't know. I can solve problems. At least in my mind, I can solve problems pretty well. Well, so I'm in the meeting. And they're talking about, they need to, you got to go off the deep end and go full time and this, that, and the other. And they got to go to these classes and they got to do this and da, 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 da. And I was like, so I finally raised my hand. I'm like, are you guys fucking kidding me? Who in the world can just drop whatever they're doing and do real estate full time? Like, that's not reasonable. And then I started thinking, I was like, okay, well, it's a bunch of women that are saying this. They probably have another income. And I'm like, guys, when I got in real estate, I had child support, no income. You know what I mean? I couldn't.
You had to make it work.
I could not just go to meetings and do this 100% of the time.
Right.
Like, I caddied at Redstone, well, it's Houston Golf Club now, every morning so I could come and do this in the afternoon. I'm like, bills don't stop because you're changing careers into a no salary career. And they're like, well, these people, if they really want to do this, they can keep their full-time job and then come to the classes. I was like, the classes are during the week and 5 hours long. I'm like, again,
In the morning, too.
what fucking job is not going to wonder where you're at for 5 hours?
Yeah.
It's just not reasonable. I'm like, then they were trying to sell me on it. Well, this is a proven tactic. I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm doing all right. And I would have never have made it. There would have been there's no situation where I could have done that. So this idea that a lot of these big brokers, Keller Williams and stuff, and I get what their whole thing is. I'm really not trying to, badmouth them, because I can't understand how that works for somebody who has another person in the house that has a solid income. If you got that shit, hell yeah, go 100%.
Well, you also have a chance of taking that venture. You're like, hey, I need so much room to grow.
Right.
We've got a little bit of money put away, or you got enough coming in. There's certain situations, but just by yourself,
it's not possible. Like, I came out as a gangbuster. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but my production in my first year was $3 million. This was back in 2015 was when I did my first full year. And in 2015, I mean, $3 million went, the commissions and everything went a long way.
Yeah.
Okay. My next year was $9 million in my second full year. Like, that you cannot expect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
No.
you can't say, oh yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, because the amount of people that try to do it full time never even get to that point. Like, I was fortunate. Like, I give all the credit to the people who wanted to see me succeed.
Right.
Like, there were people that were like, I want Ellis to do it. I know he doesn't have the experience, but we're going to make it work. And part of it is, I mean, and you can relate to this. I mean, I was 35, 36. Like, if I'd have tried this when I was 25, like, what? Help my buddies find apartments?
Yeah.
Like, that's all great, but I couldn't have done this at 25.
You're not gonna survive that way.
No, at 35, I've got people who are buying and selling, because my sphere, my friends are all at that age. So this idea that you can only do it one way and it's the only way that'll work. Like, I tell everybody, don't quit your job.
Yeah.
Like, every single person that asks me, I say, do not quit whatever good paying job you have. Anything you can do after work. Like, you just tell your people, like, hey, look, I want to get on this. I get off at 5. We'll make it happen. And until you got some solid footing, you shouldn't be doing the 100% of the time, this, that, and the other. And like I said, it pissed a lot of people off. I'm like, I was very honest. I'm like, I ain't got another income in my house. I can't do that. So yeah, I didn't go back to any of the other meetings because I could tell there were some pissed off people. But look, I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, I tell that to every agent. It doesn't matter who it is. Do not quit your day job. Work into quitting your day job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I remember sitting into a meeting early on when we were at Intero, and it was like the end of the year, so we're going into the whole new year. And it was like, okay, we're going to set up your goals and all this stuff. Like, Katie had everything lined up, and it was cool to everyone have their goals. But the only thing that I thought was so shocking, like, I was going into like my second year maybe, and I was like, okay, I realistically want to sell one house a year, right? And when I said like 12, or maybe I put 16, like 1.5 houses a year, just trying to be realistic.
One a month.
Yeah, sorry.
It's like, if you want to sell one a year, give me the rest of your business.
Are you gonna give? How much you give me back?
We can work a deal on that.
Sure, I know you will. But no, so I wanted to sell, a certain amount of houses a year, but I remember everyone else in there was like 50. I'm gonna sell 60 transactions, and I'm like, where are they getting these numbers? You sold 4 houses last year, and it was a booming market. Like, you're in the worst market ever, Mike.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel it, believe me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
But I just remember, and then one girl held up like 8, and everyone's just like, "Ew, she held up 8." Like you hear the overall. There's a lot of like people that thought they were real special in that room, and there's a lot of, Anyways, it was a different type of versus what me and Ellis are from,
Right.
And then I just remember like our broker at the time, she's like, all y'all are saying that just so you know, she only sells multi-million-dollar houses. And then everyone's like, oh, like, yeah, that girl's crushing it. She's not dealing with, she doesn't take anything under a million apparently.
She's not selling $150K over off of Spencer and Red Bluff.
I sold a $90K house in Baytown, one of my first
I'm doing
deals.
it right now.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, Mike's
I'm
got
like
one.
$130,000 down in Sweeney. I'm like, fuck, let's ride.
I like to leave money on the table.
Yeah,
no,
you don't
man.
pass anything up because that 130 might turn into $1 million referral from somebody.
Well, not just that.
You just don't know who their family or friends are.
And if you do their job right, most likely they're going to move out of that house one day. And what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to either rent that house out for them or sell it for them
Right.
Buy them a
and
new
get
one.
them a new house.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
You
the
take
next
everything.
one.
You
Dude.
take it all.
I know there's some agents out there like, oh, I don't deal with that stuff.
No,
or
I
I don't leave my little section. I'm like, man.
Look, man, I hate getting into this I do shit because there's a lot of people that are full of shit about their numbers. And a lot of people that have these teams and they're like, well, I did this much. I'm like, well, no, you've got 6 people working with you. You actually did. You know what I mean? I just don't get into that stuff. But I do literally, even in my shittiest year, I do 9 million plus.
Yeah.
And I'm still taking a $100,000 deal in Sweeney.
Which is nowhere
because
close to us.
Right. And I know that it could turn into something. And it's also a referral from Dallas. So I'm paying a referral fee on it. And I'm still taking it. These people that, like you said, the HGTV agents where they're like, oh, I'm dressed so nice and I'm going to go down here. We're going to show all these $1 million properties. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not what it is. To be good, to really hustle and be good, you got to take everything. And I'm talking about rentals too. I take all of them as well.
I do rentals, man.
I take everything. And I'm like I said, I'm numbers wise, I'm doing better than most people in the area as a single agent. And I still would not pass up any of that stuff for nothing. But like what you said on the meeting, I went into one of those too. And I ended up, I did like, I think 8 million. My second, like 8.5. Anyways, so I go into this meeting and I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I write down? I'm like, I don't want to look like a dick because everybody's writing double what they did last year. I'm like, well, it's kind of like if a rookie goes out there and hits 50 home runs in a major league season.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I going to go right down? I'm going to do 75 to 100?
Of course.
Like, yeah, but I'm not.
I know it's not realistic.
doing it because they're like, no, you got to double that, Ellis. I'm like, no, that's stupid. I said, if I can do this same number again the very next year, because nothing's guaranteed, I'm like, I'm all over that. Sign me up right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to not want to improve every year, but I'm also not unreasonable or stupid with what I'm thinking and how this business is done.
Well, even like years ago when I had a normal job, I had outside sales and they want you to give up these fake numbers. And I was never cool with it. Like I was never the person in the meeting is like, oh, you want 3 million of this? Sure, I can do that when everyone's selling 60, 60,000 or whatever it is. Like none of it makes any sense. Like they want you to shoot for some unrealistic number. And then when you don't make but they really just want you to hit a certain lower number, but they figure if you shoot for the stars all the time, if we give you this fake, goal and we shoot for that, you're going to fall somewhere in the middle and they're happy they make their money off you. And
I get all that, but I was in quota wine sales for Glazers for years and they'd make you write down some crazy number at the beginning of the month. And that's fine. And I understood the game. Go high. If you get it, great. But come to the end of the month, well, why didn't you hit your goal? I'm like, because the goal wasn't fucking reasonable. That's why I did it, because that's what you said to do. I said, did I go 20% over month from year to year? Yeah. I hit what y'all really wanted me to hit. Well, are you sandbagging? I'm like, oh, This is why I got to get out of corporate anything, because these people, they have unreasonable goals, or they have unreasonable expectations.
Yeah.
And then they press their thumb on you. That's part of the reason why I have a very low tolerance for people telling me how and when and this, that, and the other, because I've never had a situation. I've probably been fired 9 times in my life. Mm-hmm. And it's never been because of production. Not once. It's been because I eventually will tell somebody, get the fuck off my back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing my job. I'm busting my tail. I'm a hustler. I got a kid. I'm taking care of business. And you guys just want to micromanage everything I do. But that's also why I don't put up unrealistic expectations with my clients. Because I don't want that. Oh, well, you told me, Ellis. I'm like, well, I told you what you wanted to hear. I've just gotten to where I'll lose business on that and make it up in the long run, because I did shoot people straight. But it's part of the reason why I do that, is because of working in corporate for so long and dealing with so much heat on a daily basis. I was like, nobody's signing a paycheck for me. I'm not dealing with this shit every day. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, I have this listing right now, and I listed it right at the end of the summer. And I was like, I just want y'all to know, we're in a neighborhood with a super high tax rate. It's only a house is a few years old. It's not a big deal. Morgan's Point, LaPorte area, but everything's sitting. And the house right across the street, we're battling because they keep on dropping. And then we have to, but no one's getting showings. And I can't, and the thing that drives me crazy, I called the agent the other day because I was just like, hey, I want to see what kind of traction you're getting. Because we have like no showings of, a couple open houses, nothing big. And she wouldn't call me back because I left her a message like, hey, how about we both need to sell these houses. I know we don't work at the same brokerage, but we both have the same goal. You need to sell your house. I need to sell my house. Why don't we even plan like an open house on the same time to try to make people go back and forth? Man, there's so many agents, they don't give a crap whether the house sells or not.
Supplemental income agents. Just call it what it is.
And then the other thing too, man, you went on a rant the other day. So I didn't rant, but a little bit of on social media.
I'm sure it was a rant.
Yeah, but it was the reason why you don't attend conferences.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to the Inman conference in Vegas last year with all the changes that were coming in. I wanted to be ahead of the game and go, and no one's paying for this. Like, everyone thinks that this shit's paid for. Like, it's coming out of my pocket. It's out of my business budget. So, I want to sit in here and I want to hear everything. And the whole time I'm sitting there, it is the most unrealistic, most of the people that were there, like our old broker she was the MC. So when Katie talked, it was nice, and she was introducing people, but you would sit there and you would listen to these other people talk. And we started off this, and then we do this, and we have, 900 agents under us. And the one thing the whole time, I remember I'm taking notes and I'm doing everything, and all my notes were the opposite of what these people say, because I'm like, they're full of shit.
Right.
Like, it just sounds good, but it's not realistic.
Yeah, right.
And then the one thing that when I saw your post or whatever it was, and you were just like, I don't take advice from any of these people because they haven't sold a house in probably 10 years, something towards that. And you're like, 100% correct. Like, not all of them, a lot of the people that run these big teams and all this stuff, they have not gone. They just wait. If there's a problem, they answer it. They can handle the paperwork part. And a lot of times they're not even doing that. They got someone else on their team to handle the paperwork part. And I mean, you dealt with it going on your first company that you were at. You're like, no one wanted to help you, and yet you're paying them 50% of your commission.
That was weird to me. Like, it's like, don't y'all want this money? Like, it's like, it just blew my mind, man. Because oh, well, so and so will help you. Then I'd go to so and so. Oh, yeah, can you wait till Wednesday? I'm like, man, dude,
wait till
I'm new.
So I'll be honest with you. I didn't have any bad experiences with getting help when I asked for it in my career. Me personally,
when I was
at Taro, Katie and Randy always there. Mm-hmm. Anytime I called, we were good. CB&A, Chance owns the brokerage. He was great. Anytime I had an issue, which was minimal, but he was more fielding complaints about my signs. But my point is, I've never had an issue with that. But Would you like to know the backstory of where that rant come from?
Sure.
It's juicy.
Okay.
Okay. So you notice I left Keller Williams.
Yes, you were there for, you called me.
9 months.
So basically, Ellis calls me like 3 days after. Sure. Ellis calls me like 3 days after I decide I'm starting a team. I got Mike switched over, and Ellis calls me like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna go to Keller. You want to come with me? You don't have to worry about any of the bullshit. I know you don't want to go to meetings. So I don't,
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I just got someone on my team, and I just got someone from Keller.
Sure.
And you were like, cool, man. Well, let me know if anything ever
Yeah.
changes. I got you. You don't have to worry about all the bullshit.
And there wasn't any bullshit. I'm gonna be point blank. My experience was isolated. I didn't have any bullshit. Michelle was great. Bryn, they all helped me out anytime I needed it. What happened I'm good. I was dealing with I'm not going to use names because everybody at Keller Williams is going to know exactly who I'm talking about. But I was doing a deal with one of the teams, the big team at KW Preferred. Mm-hmm. Y'all can do all the Googling you want now. Anyways, there was some miscommunication from their buyer's agent, not letting us know this, not letting us know that. So I called the team lead, who I've never talked to before. Mm-hmm. This person had just come back from speaking at one of these KW events. He's one of the guest note speakers.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just don't like these kind of people. And he called and I said, well, they're wanting to do this and before the inspection. And I'm telling you right now, my clients aren't going to go for that because it's not an inspector telling them it's wrong. You want to get a contractor out there that gets paid to do work. I need the inspection to say this.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a contractor out. And he started pressing the thumb down, talking down to me. Even went as far as saying, look, Ellis, I'm not expecting you to bend the knee to me. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why would that even cross your mind? I'm like, see, this is the problem with you guys. Y'all go and speak at one of these conferences, then you come back thinking you're bigger than what you fucking are, and you talk to people like they're stupid because you're some team lead. Yeah. I said that's not going to work with me. I'm like, I'm not saying, do you know who I am? But I'm experienced. I'm not some brand new agent that you can leverage with your experience. I'm like, and not only that, this is like the fifth home that I've sold with these clients. Yeah. And he says, well, maybe I need to call our broker and get them involved. I said, that will be the worst mistake you make. I said, you don't need to do that. Like, that's not going to go over well. Mr. I know everything calls the broker. And I sent the broker all the text messages from my clients because he said I was not consulting with my clients, that I was making decisions for them without consulting with them. So now you got the broker involved.
Well, also it's making you sound like you're not doing your real
my
job,
job.
which is bullshit because I know you way too well.
Well, I want to get paid. I ain't going to try to let this thing go,
Also, you're also not going to, you're never going to take away the integrity from your client of what your main goal is.
I don't relay anything to people that I know my clients wouldn't want me to relay or have not told me directly. As a matter of fact, they told me to pull the plug with this guy and tell him to go fuck himself. And I did not do that, but I did tell him he was a bitch.
You did it in a way, yeah.
I did tell him, no, I'm not even in a way. I told him he was a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you're being a big pussy, dude. We're both in the same brokerage. It would never cross my mind to try to call our broker and get them involved with somebody who, I wouldn't do that to you. I would respect the fact that you've got experience. I said, but again, this is what happens. You guys go to these meetings. Y'all aren't practicing real estate. You're coming into the transaction 3 weeks in, or 2 weeks in, whatever that was, and you really don't know that your person screwed this up, okay? And I'm trying to save this. Well, long story short, I called him a bitch, and he went in and said, it's either him or me. I was like, now I'm really calling you a bitch. Like that is just some cowardly crap to go in and say, I'm leaving if this guy doesn't leave. So I made a negative comment about people who are using place and acting like those place numbers where you're having to pay out all this commission and it inflates your numbers and makes you think you're bigger than what you are. And they said, Ellis, you got to delete that. And I said, yeah, that's not happening. They said, well, we're going to have to move on from you. I'm like, okay, I'm not taking it down. I told them that from the beginning. I said, look, you know, if anybody tries to micromanage what I do and say, I don't belong there. I said, not because I'm trying to be a jerk or a pain in the ass. This is who I am.
This is your
This
brand.
is how I'm going to do it. And you guys don't give me a paycheck. And this is to any broker. You don't give me a paycheck. And as long as that's the case, I'm not going to be told when and how. Long as I'm dependent on myself, that's how it's going to go. So, but no, I had a good experience at KW. It was just, that was the situation and I wasn't going to back off. And, you know,
And now you
everybody
are where you
knows
are.
who I'm talking about. So, yeah, but I mean, it's just stupid. Like, you know, I've never thought, like, I'm going to go tell the broker on you. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like, dude, how old are you?
Yeah, man, that's some like not even junior high.
Yeah,
That's like
it's
elementary
fucking-
shit.
Yeah,
Dude.
like, told him, I'm like, you didn't go tell the teacher, tell the principal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I've been in, you know, usually never with I've been in plenty of confrontations with other agents, to put it nicely. And I mean, I remember there was this early, and this is like I said, when I was an agent, a new agent, I always felt I had to beat the other agent.
Sure.
But in reality, I don't have to beat them. We really have to make what's best for everything. But you know, you go in and you're like, oh, you don't have a survey? Crap, we're not paying for that. I'm making that person pay for it because every other person has a survey. Like, it's stuff that was petty, but you didn't really know better because you were a new agent. And in
Yeah, but it's
reality,
those petty little things that your client's going to notice that you saved them money on.
yeah.
It's not petty. It's just you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
But depending on the situation, like I never once would have evaluated and been like, maybe I should just pay for this if it closes. Like, you know, just minor things. Every situation is different. But I went in with just like, hey, this is how this is supposed to be done. But in reality, as you become an agent longer and you realize stuff, like there is no certain way anything's going to be done every single time.
Right.
But I remember I had to turn in option money. And you know, you had your 3 days to turn it in.
Say, you're showing your tenure.
I know. So the agent, I got a call it's an agency, and they were in Pearland, and God, I hate the person. I had to call Katie when we were still at Intero and let her know, like, hey, this person's telling me I'm doing something wrong for my client because we didn't get it there within 24 hours, which was never the case.
Sure, right.
And so I printed up, I went to my house, printed up the actual rules, walked into his office and asked where the fuck he was at because I was going to confront him. And if he had a problem with it, I let Katie know just to bail me out and I would pay her back.
Sure.
The guy magically wasn't there when I said, you have a problem? And because he started talking, man, they try to talk down to you when they know you're newer,
Correct.
especially.
Yes.
And like, I don't do that, man.
I don't do that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, if anything,
I'm trying to help the other person so we can make sure nothing gets screwed up.
Right.
and if I piss off a new agent that doesn't know anything, they're going to go back and say that I'm an asshole or it's going to cause friction. It's going to cause the deal to fall apart.
Sure.
That's not what you're supposed to do. And I just remember, man, I walked in there, I was pissed, and that guy wasn't there. And I was like, you sure he's not back here? Because I'm looking around, you know, and I'm like, they're like, no, he's not here. And I was like, dude, I was so ready. Just because, man, you attack me. You attack like who I am. And if anyone knows me, man, like, I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And I might not always be right, man, but generally, I'm not out to screw anyone. And I didn't have to give you the option money in 24 hours just because you wanted it, jam it up your ass. Like, it didn't matter.
Just because, no, what probably happened is he told the seller that's probably what it is, and it hadn't been done, and he was probably getting heat, so he's throwing it off on, well, he's supposed to do this. You know what I mean? I know a lot of agents that have done that, where I get calls from their clients like, why are you doing this? I'm like, why the fuck are you calling me? Dude. Bye. Call your agent. That's what you're paying them for.
You're not supposed to be talking to me anyway.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's really no reason for you to talk to me.
Yeah.
I once had an agent. I once had a listing, and I remember I got a call from a potential buyer, and we had we had multiple offers come in, and she was like, "Hey, so how much should I offer?" Blah blah. I go, "Unfortunately, I cannot help you. Like, if you want to put in your offer, I can represent both sides, but I cannot actually give you suggestions on what to offer because I represent the seller.
Right.
And I go, all I can tell you is if I was you, I'd come at your highest and best because we have 8 offers in.
Yeah.
So she cancels her appointment with me while I was already at the house when she was going to show up. No big deal, cancels. All right. And then I remember I get a call a couple days later after we've accepted an offer, and she just calls me and she's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, how come y'all didn't accept my offer? I was like, what are you talking about? I go, she's like, well, you said you couldn't really help me negotiate, so I couldn't use you. Like with an attitude, I was like, well, I represent a different person. And then she goes, I go, who was your agent? And I remember I pulled up the email. I was like, oh. I go, we ended up having 12 offers and yours was the lowest.
Yeah.
So, you know.
There you go.
But
Right.
she was mad at me because we didn't, how come my agent said you were supposed to send back a highest and best? Like, we didn't need to. We told everyone. We have multiple offers.
You don't have to do anything.
No, and my client was like, dude, we're getting this in cash. Take it. It's
Done.
higher than everyone else, most likely. So, anyways, man, yeah, it's everyone thinks they know everything, but in reality, dude, most of these agents.
I mean, it's people don't realize it gets exhausting.
It's
Like, I think almost every year I've been in the business, I've had at least one point in time that year been like, I'm going to do something else.
I mean,
Like it comes into my head, like,
Absolutely.
and then I'm like, well, no, I'm not. But you know what I mean? It's like I'm done. I'm done. Like you just you get burned if you're doing it and you're really grinding for on every transaction. It does get exhausting. I wish it was as easy as everybody thinks it is.
Everyone thinks it's
That would
super
be
easy.
fantastic. I mean, I'd be on board with it, and you could make fun of me all you want about how easy my job is and how overpaid I am. I'd be done and done. But no, every year I kind of go through, I was like, God, do I really want to not know where my check's coming from? And mind you, I do pretty well for myself, but there's still the, well, you know, like this year I had 4 months without a single closing, and I've never had that, ever. You want to talk about 4 months of no income? It starts to squeeze a little bit.
because
You know what I mean?
as good as you do, I'm sure you still have bills.
Oh, yeah, they don't stop.
No.
Yeah. Obviously, they don't stop. So, I mean, but it is. Look, I was made to do it. I know that sounds horribly arrogant.
No.
And the only reason I know that is because I failed at so many other things of working for people that working for myself and working just with myself is literally the best setup for me.
Yeah.
Because I was never getting opportunities from anywhere else. So
Well,
it just wasn't.
Well, Ellis, man, thanks for coming in. I know it's been about an hour, so I don't want to keep you going too long. Do you have any advice for Mike, being a new agent, what he should do? Probably not listen to me, probably call you instead, maybe join your team, you know, whatever.
Don't have a team. You're safe. Advice, man, get through this year. It's going to start trending up. I really believe that it's going to start trending upwards. It's like I said, if you have another income, just keep grinding. If you don't, go get another income. Because what I've found is if you're not stressing every single transaction, you make better decisions.
Right. Yeah.
And that's one thing that I found that I wouldn't say I struggled with, but like, you know, the one transaction that I was dealing with my in-house deal, somebody made a comment, well, you know, Ellis, it's been a crappy year. You don't really want this one to go south over, you know, this. Maybe you need to talk to your clients. And then I was like, no, that's not fucking happening. Like if I'm doing really good, I'm going to deal with it a certain way. If I'm doing not so good or really bad, I'm dealing with it in the same way.
Absolutely.
Right. You've got to deal with every
time.
transaction as if you're making millions of dollars and they're all important. Like that's my one advice is don't let the market dictate how you negotiate and how you stand your ground. That's that.
Sounds good,
If I can stress that enough, it will pay dividends later. Even if it delays a closing or something like that, you've got to do it the same way.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're a rock and roll guy or something.
Mm-hmm.
So right.
Look, his eye started twitching. He don't like it.
We rock and roll.
Yeah. You go do a gig.
Yep.
If there's 10 people out there, you do the same gig as if there's 100 people out there.
Right.
Because that's how you build your fan base.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
My theory was remember this is real short, but I I played a show in Austin or even outside. It was at in Killeen and like one of the Army bases. And the other band that brought us in was like, hey, there's either going to be, this place will be packed or there's going to be nobody. We played in front of 3 people because everyone was deployed.
Right.
And I swear it was one of the best shows of my life because I needed those 3 people to go tell the other people for the next time we came back when that shit was packed.
Oh yeah, man.
You know? So man, you give it your all every time.
Every time, and you know, it pays off. It might take a little bit longer, but it pays off down the road for sure.
Yep. Well, Ellis, man, you want to plug anything? You know where you're at now?
No,
I
I think I've called out plenty of people today, and there's going to be plenty of people text me like, God damn, I saw your podcast, and you know why you saw the podcast? Because I'm going to make sure to post it where people I want to see it. Like I think a lot of things is people think I post things and stuff because I'm afraid to say it to people's face. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Oh, yeah,
I want it to get to them and their friends and their mom and their brother and their sister. And if anything I said is untrue, they can come and have a little talk with me. I'm not looking to get physical or nothing, but I want everybody, when I do it social media wise, I want everybody to know, including that person. I'm not hiding. So.
Well, once again, your mom's favorite realtor, Mr. Ellis Young.
That's right.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks,
brother.
Appreciate it.
All right.